Good morning, dear students. Myself Sachin S. Pawar, Head of Department of Chemistry, GSS University College, Belgaum, and I welcome you to my fifth video on Unit 5, States of Matter, Gases and Liquids. To begin with, let us recall the last video of mine, what we have done there. If you just see, we have done these three parts. We have seen these three parts. So I have told you what is isotherm, isobar and isocourse. Isotherm, isobar and isocourse. Isotherms are the pressure versus volume curve at constant temperature. See, this is at 200 Kelvin, 400 Kelvin, 600 Kelvin. Isobars are the curves of volume versus temperature at constant pressure. And isocourse are the pressure versus temperature curve at constant volumes, respective volumes. And these are the curves, different curves are there. These curves, you already know that these curves lead to different laws. As you know, the isotherm gives us Boyle's law. I have told you in the last class. Isobar gives us Charles' law. And isocore gives us Gay-Lussac's law. The mathematical forms of these I have already discussed in the last class, so let me write it. This is for a fixed amount of gas, that is N is fixed at a constant temperature. So if N and T are kept constant, then you find that pressure is inversely proportional to volume. This is the mathematical form of Boyle's law. Then Charles' law, you know that also I have discussed. I will not go in detail about it again. Charles' law, for a fixed amount of gas at constant pressure, isobars means at constant pressure. At constant pressure, you know it as volume of the gas is directly proportional to temperature. These graphs also we have seen. And the last one is Gay-Lussac's law, that is for a fixed amount of gas at constant volume. At constant volume, pressure of the gas is directly proportional to temperature. These are the Boyle's law, Charles' law and Gay-Lussac's law. As far as your question number 2 or question number 12 is concerned for your annual examination, they may ask you a question on this. What are isotherms, isobars, isocourse, or they may ask you state Boyle's law or state any one of these laws for 1 mark or for 2 marks. So the first statement of Boyle's law I have told. For a fixed amount of gas at constant temperature, pressure of the gas is inversely proportional to volume. Charles' law statement number 1, for a fixed amount of gas at constant pressure, volume of the gas is directly proportional to temperature. And Gay-Lussac's law, for a fixed amount of gas at constant volume, pressure of the gas is directly proportional to temperature. So we have seen these three laws. Let us learn them one by one. So I'll just clean the screen. So we'll go now for Boyle's law. Let us move on to Boyle's law. Okay, Boyle's law. So the statement of Boyle's law you already know. You already know the statement of Boyle's law. So I will not explain it again, but I will take a mathematical form of this. Mathematical forms of this Boyle's law. Mathematical forms of these laws. Okay, the first form is, you know, if amount of substance is kept constant and temperature is constant, for a fixed amount of gas at constant temperature, pressure of the gas is inversely proportional to volume. This is equation number 1. Okay, right. Now this value, okay, here there is a proportionality sign. If you want to remove this proportionality sign, then I can add it, I can replace this proportionality sign by a equality sign by putting a constant. So this becomes P is equal to constant upon V. That implies when number of moles are kept constant, temperature is kept constant, PV is constant. PV is constant. This is again, I have got a second statement of Boyle's law that I will tell you in a while. So what do you mean by this? What do you mean by this? I'm going to explain you. Okay, so the statement 1, this is statement 1. For a fixed amount of gas at constant temperature, pressure of the gas is inversely proportional to volume. In other words, we can write the same statement. For a fixed amount of gas at constant temperature, the product of pressure and volume is always constant. The product of pressure and volume is always constant. Just to understand this, suppose I have taken two containers. I have taken two containers. In these two containers, I have taken a same gas. Say I have taken 1 mole of oxygen gas here. Here also I'll take 1 mole of oxygen gas. You see, volumes are different. Let the volume of this is V1, volume of this is V2. Let the P1 is the pressure, P2 is the pressure of this. Okay, for a fixed amount of gas, see, number of mole is fixed. We will maintain both these containers at constant temperature. Say both are taken at say 25 degrees Celsius. At 25 degrees Celsius. So temperature is kept constant, amount of gas is kept constant. You will get two different values of pressure and volume for this container and for this container respectively. But here it says, if temperature is kept constant and the amount of substance is kept constant, then the product PV is constant. That means whatever may be the containers, if N and T are kept constant, then P1 V1 it will be constant, same value, and P2 V2 also will be a same constant, it is same value, and both will be equal. And this is the mathematical form of Boyle's law number 3. Mathematical form of Boyle's law number 3. We are going to use this equation 3 for solving problems that we shall see. So this is regarding the various mathematical forms of Boyle's law. Number 1, number 2, number 3. This is number 3, which is oftenly used for theoretical purposes, for calculation purposes, for solving problems related to pressure and volume. Okay, so we will come on to these problems on these laws in a later stage. Let's move ahead. Boyle's law, mathematical forms. I have finished. Now let us move into the application aspects of laws. So application of Boyle's law now. Application of Boyle's law. Now actually the applications of these laws you have learnt in 10th standard as well, in SLC as well, but here whatever are there that I will tell you. Okay, the first question comes out to, there is only one application, and that is the question which I am going to write on the screen. That question is, gases become denser at high pressure. Gases become denser at high pressure. I'll just write P. The gases become denser at high pressure. The question is why? Give reason. Okay, I want a reason for this. Why it is? Gases become denser at high pressure. Now you have also come across this question in your 10th standard and you have answered it. Now let us say this question I have to answer, and this question I post to a scientist. Then when he wants to answer this question, okay, he will have two methods. Method 1 is, he will perform the experiment, and the experimental observation he will show it to you, and he will say yes, gases become denser at high pressure. Why? He'll explain with experiment. Or he may use some mathematics, and he will give a formula, he will give you a formula between density and pressure. between density and pressure, and he will show that gases become denser at high pressure using mathematics. Let us see both. Let us see both. Okay, so for this I'll do a simulation here. Let us do both. Okay, so let's do both of these. So I have a simulation here for you. Okay, let's do both of these. I will first prove it using the simulation experiment. Okay, so scientist will first perform experiment and he will try to prove this. Why so? Let's see. Okay, now for this he will take gas in one container. Okay, then he will try to, okay, now you know the pressure, he keeps temperature constant because temperature increase, thermal energy increases, and the consequences will be there. Therefore he keeps temperature constant. They are the applications of Boyle's law. Therefore I can say temperature kept constant. Okay, now you see there is a lot of empty space between the gas particles. I am interested in high pressure. So if I increase the pressure on the gas particle, what is happening? See, as I increase the pressure, the particles of the gas molecules are coming closer and closer, and this empty space, the blank space which is there in the container, is getting reduced. Just check. Right? So here what is happening is at high pressure the gas particles are coming very close to one another. I cannot say they are close to one another like a liquid or solid. They are coming closer to one another. So the gap between the particles is decreased, or it is the lowest at high pressure. Gap means empty space. And you know density is mass per unit volume. So that empty space, there is no mass. But at high pressure, that empty space we are reducing it. And see, in the simulation, if I decrease the pressure, the gap is increasing, empty space is increasing, mass per unit volume is less. But if you increase the pressure, you see the empty space is decreasing. That means the mass per unit volume is increasing. That is why he will perform the experiment as he has done, as we have done it, actually not with the gases but simulation. Here the experiment says that as the pressure increase, he will say as the pressure increase, the gas particles come closer to each other and the mass per unit volume will increase, and the mass per unit volume means density. And that is why at high pressure gases become denser. That is the experimental proof. We call it as experimental explanation. This explanation is experimental. If you want me to explain this by mathematics, then can we explain it by mathematics? Let's check it. So can we do it by mathematics? So let's check the mathematical calculation for this. So mathematics people, what will do? High pressure, density. So denser means they are talking about density. So they will try to find out the relation between density and pressure. That's what is done by Boyle. So let us derive a relation between density and pressure. So this is one question which is there in the, there is a question in the, that question is there in your examination. That question can come and they can ask you, derive relation between density and pressure using Boyle's law. It could be a 2 marks question or sometimes 3 marks question, depends. Usually it will be 2 marks question. They may ask you this question. So let us try to answer this question. Let us try to address this question. So this question is asked now and mathematical explanation will be given. So let us derive. So first you have to derive. So we'll go for mathematical explanation. So we know we want relation between density and pressure. So we need to know the definition of density. Okay, definition. What is density? Density, I'll say D. You may say rho also. Density symbol is either rho or D. We can use any one. So I'll write density D, that is equal to mass upon volume. That you have learnt already. That is, I'll say m upon v. So I will put this equation as equation 1. So in this equation, if you see density on the left hand side, mass on the right hand side, volume on the right hand side. So this equation says that density is directly proportional to the mass of the gas, and density is inversely proportional to the volume of the gas. But I am not interested in that. I am interested in finding out the relation between density and pressure. For that, I need an equation where I can have density term and a pressure term. Now in this equation we have a density term. So can we replace any one of this term by pressure? Then I'll say yes. For this we have to go for Boyle's law. What the Boyle's law says? Boyle's law implies at constant temperature and for a fixed amount of gas, you know, PV is equal to constant. So this constant I will say it as K. So PV is equal to constant, say K. Okay, now I want in this equation density term is there, I want V term, so I want P here, so I can convert V in terms of P using this equation 2. So this implies, you just see, V is equal to K upon P, if you just think. Or I can also say 1 upon V is equal to P upon K. That also I can say. 1 upon V is equal to K upon, yeah, correct. So V goes this side, and okay. So this is equation number 2, I'll say equation number 2. Now from equation 1, again from equation 1, what I'll get? From equation 1 implies what? Density is equal to m into 1 by V. 1 by V, I can put the value of 1 by V in the equation. So density is equal to m into P upon K. So I will get an equation, density is equal to mp upon K, and this is the equation which has been derived by Boyle as equation number 3. And this equation 3 clearly indicates that density on the left hand side in the numerator, pressure on the right hand side in the numerator. See, density in the numerator, pressure in the numerator, both are directly proportional to each other. So I can clearly say that density is directly proportional to pressure. Since density is directly proportional to pressure, I can say that this implies at high pressure gas becomes more denser. At high pressure the density of the gas is very high, very large. That means at high pressure gases become denser. And that concludes the class, that concludes the application aspect of this. So here, see, you have learned many applications, but these applications, how to learn these, how these applications are explained, for that they have given one example. Many other examples are also there, but we are not going to bother, they are not there in syllabus. So experimental observation and mathematical observation, experimental explanation, mathematical explanation. So this is about the application of Boyle's law. Application of Boyle's law. Let's move on to the next part now. Application of Charles law. Application of Charles law. We'll move on to application of Charles law. Okay. So application of Charles law. Applications of Charles law. Okay, now application of Charles law. Right, now in the Charles law You already know the statement, but I'm not going to write the statement right now. Charles law, at constant, it is obtained from isobar. You know, it is obtained from isobar. Yes, it was here, isobar. You know, it is obtained from isobar, Charles law. And here the isobar has given us information. That information is very, very important, that all these curves touch zero volume at minus 273.15 degrees Celsius specific, and I had told you that it is called as absolute temperature. It is called as absolute temperature, and we have seen the Charles law as well. For a fixed amount of gas at constant pressure, volume is directly proportional to temperature. That we have already seen. So let us come back and study. Let us come back and study this Charles law. Okay, so let us see Charles law, what he has done. So he has performed experiments. He performed experiment. What experiment he performed, that I have already told you. What experiment he performed, that I have already explained in last video. Okay, so experiment gave him observation, that is also I have told, no problem in that. Now when he performed the experiment, he got one conclusion that became the Charles law, and the Charles law is N and P are kept constant, then volume is directly proportional to temperature. This is equation number 1, what he got. Okay, now when he got this equation, he will doing experiments. In the experiment, he got one observation which was very, very important, and that observation led him to the law. That observation was, for every 1 degree Celsius rise in temperature, that was the observation, for every 1 degree rise in temperature, he found that the volume of the gas increase by 1/273.15 times its initial value times the its initial volume. This what is observed. This is the observation he has done. He has done this observation. For 1 degree rise in temperature, see, when the temperature is raised by 1 degree, for every 1 degree rise in temperature, the initial volume will increase by an amount of 1/273.15 times its original value. To understand this, let's say I have initial volume as V1. Okay, I'll say initial volume as V1, and I'll say final volume as V2. Let's say so initial volume is V1. Okay, suppose we increase the temperature by 1 degree Celsius, then what's going to happen to the initial volume? Initial volume will increase, right? Initial volume will increase. How much? The final volume will become V2 is equal to, or rather I will say I and F, initial and final. So this is final volume. What final volume becomes? Final volume will become, yes, final volume is equal to whatever initial volume is there, that is definitely there, plus the increase would be, for every 1 degree rise, the increase would be 1/273.15 times the initial volume, means it is 1/273.15 times the initial volume. So this is the increased final volume. I hope you understood this. Suppose such 1 degree rise, I go on increasing and I increase by say t degrees. 1 degree means 1 by 273, 2 degrees means 2 by 273.15 times, 3 degrees means 3 by 273.15 times increase, 4 degrees means 4 by 273.15 times, 5 degrees means 5 by 273.15 times, and so on. If I increase by a temperature say t degrees, then the volume is going to be, final volume will be T by 273.15 times we have initial volume. It's going to increase, and he has got one equation. Let us say this, modify this equation. V final is equal to V initial, I can take it common, so this becomes 1 plus T upon 273.15. So that becomes Vi into T plus 273.15 upon 273.15. We get an equation. So we have got an equation, final volume. So this final volume becomes V final is equal to V initial into T plus 273.15 divided by 273.15. He has got this. Okay, so here this equation can be written like this. Just check. V final, V initial. If I say this as V final divided by V initial, will be how much? It will be T plus 273.15 divided by 273.15. So this becomes, suppose this is an X temperature, say T initial, then this is T final. So I have got an equation, Vf upon Vi is equal to Tf upon T1, or if I say V2 is the final volume upon initial volume is V1, then it is T2 upon T1. So I have got an equation. This equation is second equation. Right, this is second equation, and we are going to use the problems. You are going to use the solve the problems using this equation. Okay, V2 by V1 is equal to T2 by T1, or in other words I can write this as V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2. V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2. V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2. I can write this. V1 I'll transfer that side, V2 down, T1 by T2. So I have got V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2. This is a mathematical form, and it says that for a fixed amount of gas at constant pressure, V by T becomes constant. So I have got mathematical form number 2. This was the mathematical form number 1. Okay, so here the statement is, for a fixed amount of gas at constant pressure, volume is directly proportional to temperature. Like that, he derived a statement that is, for a fixed amount of gas at constant pressure, for a gas the ratio volume upon temperature is always constant, irrespective what volumes are and what volume and what temperatures are taken. This is regarding application of Charles law. One very important thing, one important application of Charles law I would like to write. So let me clean half of this screen. Okay, right. So I have got initial volume and the final volume. Vi is equal to Vf. Okay, I'll again change the pen. Okay, so I have this Vi is equal to Vf is equal to Vi. Okay, Vf is equal to Vi into T plus 273.15 upon 273.15. I have got this. Now my question comes again, the application aspect. Question comes, can the gases have zero volume. Gases possess zero volume. Zero volume means volume should be zero. Is it possible? This I have answered, or rather we have answered, or rather Charles has answered by using isobars. And if you just go through the isobar, then you will see what he has done is he has just taken volume against temperature, and he got a graph like this. He got a graph like this, and this graph touched volume axis at zero volume when at minus 273.15 degrees Celsius, and this is the temperature at which the volume of the gas becomes zero. Yes, we can. Any gas as such, any gas you can bring it to the temperature of minus 273.15 degrees Celsius or below that, then it gets a zero volume. Actually, what happens is it starts liquefying at this temperature. It becomes a liquid at this temperature. So here gases possess zero volume at minus 273. This is at minus 273.15 degrees Celsius. This is experimental proof. Because this experiment have been performed by the Charles, and he got this graph. Okay, mathematical proof. Just come to this mathematics. Okay, use this equation. See, when Vf can become zero. See, Vf is equal to Vi into T plus 273.15 divided by 273.15. He got one equation. Okay, when I can have right hand side 0. Right hand side is 0 only if the value of t is made as minus 273.15. just check. Minus 273.15 plus 273.15 becomes 0, and 0 upon anything is 0. So volume becomes 0 at what temperature? At minus 273.15 degrees Celsius. This is called as absolute temperature. This is called as absolute temperature. I hope you understood this. Temperature at which the gases assume zero volume. Gases have zero volume, right? Now if I ask you why they assume zero volume, answer is there here. As you decrease the temperature, the volume is decreasing. Means the thermal energy is decreasing. The particles will come closer and they sink down, they lose their thermal energy and they jump into liquid state. At what time they jump into liquid state? At what temperature? At minus 273.15. that is the explanation. Why? Because at minus 273.15 it starts the thermal energy becomes to decrease to such an extent that it will be equivalent to the thermal energy of its liquid state. So it becomes a liquid. That's it. So this is regarding absolute temperature. Now you have learnt a scale of temperature. You can convert this degree Celsius. You can convert degree Celsius into Kelvin temperature. You can convert into degree Fahrenheit also. So here a new scale was absolute temperature was discovered, and this absolute temperature discovery made the Kelvin scale to come into picture. And this Kelvin scale of temperature became, see, Kelvin scale of temperature was used. And degree Celsius can be converted to Kelvin by using this equation that you already know. And Kelvin scale got more weightage Reason for that is in Kelvin scale we don't have negative values, no negative temperature. In degree Celsius we have, degree Celsius have negative temperature. That negative temperature is converted to positive by Kelvin. Therefore Kelvin temperature is most useful for problems. So from henceforth, remember, whenever you are solving any problems, or in previous session also, you know that always temperature is taken in Kelvin. Temperature is taken in Kelvin. It is must, because if it is not done, then your answer will be negative, and that negative answer cannot be explained, or it gives a certain different meaning also. So always temperature need to be maintained always in Kelvin scale, and that you have learnt already from absolute temperature. That is absolute temperature, right? Absolute temperature. This is about Charles' law. Charles' law. Okay, next one is Gay-Lussac's law, that I have already explained. Gay-Lussac's law I have already explained. Gay-Lussac's law. The applications of these are not there. So Gay-Lussac's law: for a fixed amount of gas at constant volume, pressure is directly proportional to temperature is the equation. They get? Okay. For a fixed amount of gas at constant volume. So this is Gay-Lussac's law. Again, if you say proportionality constant to be removed, then P is equal to constant into T. So I will get P by T is equal to constant. This implies P by T is equal to constant. Okay, so constant, that means again I get statement number 2. Statement number 1 I had already told you: for a fixed amount of gas at constant volume, pressure of the gas is directly proportional to its temperature. Here I can say, for a fixed amount of gas at constant volume, the ratio pressure is to temperature is always constant. Pressure is to temperature always constant. That implies, suppose I have two pressures terms, respectively we have the two temperature values, then I can easily write P1 by T1 is equal to P2 by T2, and we are going to use this problem. We are going to use this for solving problems. Okay, this is Gay-Lussac law. Gay-Lussac law. Okay, so let us recall what we have done. Okay, Gay-Lussac's law. Let us recall what we have done. I have told you Boyle's law. Okay, the mathematical form of Boyle's law is N and T kept constant. So P proportional to 1 over V is 1, or PV is equal to constant is another form, or P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2 is another form. This is Boyle's law, mathematical forms. Charles' law: here number of moles and pressure is kept constant, and you know volume is directly proportional to temperature is one equation, or V by T is equal to constant is another mathematical form, or V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2 is Charles' law number 2. And Gay-Lussac's law is, for a fixed amount of gas at constant volume, pressure of the gas is directly proportional to temperature. That is the statement. So I can write P by T is equal to constant here. This implies, and say I can write P1 by T1 is equal to P2 by T2. So these are different forms of Boyle's law, Charles' law and Gay-Lussac's law.